What's up, everybody? Welcome to Theology in the Dirt, episode 200 here at Theology Dirt. We try to practice our faith in the public square of our homes, our city, and our world. Check out the website, theologyinthedirt.com. Get some cool stuff there, including merch. Appreciate you being with us. My name's Mitchell Jolly.
I'm Chris Hayes.
John Palmer.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. Shake and then bake. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
It's shake and bake time. Shake and bake, buddy. Shake it before you bake it.
No shake and bake. It's
200th episode, and you don't even do your thing.
Yeah. I feel like ripped off.
I do
Past
too.
it. We're over that.
The Profar news got you blue.
I think it does.
Yeah, he was like, no.
Because I defended him, not for that, but just in the reason it made sense.
Oh, yeah, right. On the original one.
Yeah, you don't get it twice.
Yeah. Second time, you're like, man, you're just dumb.
So Profar has put the kibosh on our 200th episode. What a moron.
Yeah, come on, man.
No,
Do better.
Half our audience has probably no idea what we're talking about.
No, they don't. It's a Braves player, by the way.
Braves player.
Yeah.
Suspended for a year for PEDs after being missing half a season last year.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like, well, that was a great pickup.
That's right.
you have for real 3-year contract and you've missed exactly half of it from suspension.
Yeah.
What a moron. So, Chris, save our 200th episode.
come on.
Let's back to it. We are made it to episode 200, so thank you. God is good. We want to just take time to say thank you to all of you watching, listening, sharing, engaging on social media, emailing us, buying merch, all the things. None of this is possible without you guys, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Sorry we missed last week due to some schedule conflicts, but we are here today. Episode 200. It's part 2 of our listener mailbag. So we've got a lot of fun questions. We got some serious questions and some more fun things. And it seems like everybody seemed to enjoy last episode. And we've got some future episodes already in the plans for our 200s, so we're ready to get into some really good topics. But first, let's go through some fun personal ones. How about that?
Yeah.
So,
I like it.
number one is, what is your favorite fast food restaurant and your favorite sit-down restaurant?
Oh, gosh.
Favorite fast food, favorite sit down.
I'm not a foodie, so I really don't care.
Maybe fast food would be. Geez Louise, man. It's tied between. This is going to sound horrible. Tied between Chick-fil-A. I expect that. Christian chicken.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a kid thing. Growing up McDonald's, man.
Dude,
I haven't had
McDonald's is
McDonald's in a long time, but I love quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah, I would say mine, like the guilty part of it is Checkers.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got some good stuff. Their fries are good.
Their fries are delicious.
They are good,
Yeah,
man.
but it does. I mean, it's you definitely pay for it
That's pretty awesome, man.
in multiple
ways.
Yeah, that's right. That's good.
Yeah, I've probably Chick-fil-A just because we eat there all the time.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A would take exception to being called fast food. It's America's best quick service restaurant.
Oh, is there a difference?
Still fast food.
That's what they used to teach us to say at Chick-fil-A Riverbend Mall.
Well,
back
they
in the
can't
day.
say
'cause fast
they can't
food
say
has a
that anymore because they
connotation.
are the fastest restaurant.
That's true.
You know,
With quick service, high quality food would get it to you with quick service, but the food, it's quality. That's why they said America is what we were quick service.
that was before they changed their chicken.
To include all of the growth hormones.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Christian chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, have y'all seen? What's the movie with Kevin Hart where he works at Christian Chicken?
No.
It's not night. It's not
Church's chicken?
No. It's called Christian Chicken. It's the one where he works at the grill store, and he has to go back and it's night school. I think it's night school. Yeah.
School.
I don't think I saw that. I know what you're talking about, but I never
Dude,
saw that one.
it's hilarious, man. Listen, don't go watch that with your children. It's I'm just saying it's
Or any other Kevin Hart
Because-
movie. Except maybe Jumanji's probably okay.
Central
but
maybe, yeah.
Intelligence is pretty funny.
That's a funny one.
But that's awesome because he talked about Christian chicken. You know they're playing against kind of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
He works this Christian chicken. It's all about praise the Lord. It's
The one where he teaches Will Ferrell how to survive in prison.
that's horrible. I can't believe you've watched that, Chris.
I've just
I'm
heard
judging
stories.
you.
And both you guys need to repent
Chat
on your movies.
GPT to find out what it was about. And I don't know. I don't watch movies.
You don't watch movies because you love the Lord, right?
Yeah.
All right. What next? We kind of
What was
thought.
yours? You said Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Okay.
Sit down restaurant.
Oh, we got to
sit
sit
down
down.
restaurant.
Yeah.
I would
Dadgummit.
say probably. I don't know. We're a big fan of Tin Lizzy's. I like O'Charlie's a lot. I guess there's chain restaurant, sit down. We don't go to a lot of like fancy restaurants. If there's more than one fork, I'm probably in the wrong place. Like it's like cheap. If it's tablecloths, I still like Chili's, man. I think Chili's has good stuff.
Good.
Like we have Texas Roadhouse in Cartersville that we like a lot.
Yeah.
That's probably right now maybe my favorite. Longhorn.
Yeah.
You got
ours is Bluefin.
Bluefin?
Yeah, love Bluefin.
My favorite sit-down restaurant is not in town, and we don't do it often. Well, maybe it's been a minute, but Houston's down at West Paces Ferry.
I've heard that's good.
Houston's is an incredible sit-down restaurant. I mean, be prepared. Two of you are going to drop plus 100.
Yeah.
But it's the best food. Yeah. It's incredible.
Dude, Provino's in town is good.
Provino's is good. Yeah. Absolutely.
On your birthday.
Yeah. I think it's better than Olive Garden.
Oh, 100% better than Olive Garden. Yeah. Olive Garden is hot trash. It's like horrible. Provino's
sorry if you're listening.
Yeah, sorry if you're listening and you like.
Please call us for a plug.
I know a relative of the owners of the whole Provino's unit. They live right here in Rome,
really?
Georgia.
Yeah,
They're in this building at Restoration Rome. So
cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Good
Pretty
place.
awesome. I like Provino's.
In college, I had during camp one summer on a night I had dinner with me and six college girls. And the waiter walked up. He goes, "You are my hero, my friend. Please teach me your ways." He's the Lord. He said that.
That's pretty funny.
I'm sure your wife loved hearing that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, she wasn't there. That was before her.
Oh, okay, good.
So no worries.
Let's qualify that.
Yeah. We're at just discipleship meeting. So.
Discipleship.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, yeah. So next, we talked about bands and stuff last week. This one was your favorite Christian music artist or band.
Oh, right now. Mine's Need to Breathe.
I think
I know some people wouldn't call them a Christian, but they are.
They are.
They're kind of the
they're Christians.
They're Christians who have a band, but they wouldn't call them a Christian band.
Man, you can tell they read their word.
100%.
Man, they got some really good lyrics.
They're what everybody tried to say Creed was back in like the early 2000s. I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. It was like, oh, can you take me higher?
Yeah.
Let's put that on the fish.
I think if you had someone though as like more praise
with
and worship,
our arms wide open,
we
worship Jesus.
What was
that's a good song.
The guy that I sent you a song of the other day,
Phil Wickham.
Yeah. To me, like praise and worship, that dude, he's got some good ones.
Man, this is pretty weird. Like as far as bands go, I love Need to Breathe, but Christian band, I would say I'm kind of stuck back at Third Day.
I was going to say, I know it's Third Day.
I don't listen to a ton of like Christian music. I listen to like various artists and worship songs I like, but that's like not a favorite. I like favorite songs, but not a favorite artist. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bands, as far as bands go, my favorite, man, I love Coldplay. And I love George Strait. I'm very eclectic. Like I love country music, Brooks and Dunn, like old school. Like I appreciate George Strait. It's like right up there. But like bands, man, I love Coldplay.
Yeah,
Stinking Coldplay that moves my soul.
Yeah, the question was Christian bands.
Yeah, well, I like good music.
Oh man.
Shots fired from the grandpa.
That's right. They just made fun of me for 30 minutes about bumming bananas.
You could have just left it at Third Day.
Just throw them a banana.
By the way, Third Day, they're doing a big anniversary tour right now and through
who?
Third Day.
Oh yeah. I would love to see them, but
for me, no surprise here. I mean, it's Shane and Shane. They're probably my favorite.
They're good. Yep.
Just biblical, talented, and like the real deal off the stage.
Yeah,
and that carries. I think that's clear.
Yeah,
if you ever see them live.
Cool.
But Cayman's Call, Jars of Clay, like Third Day, like those 90s.
Yeah.
90s Christian music was legit.
Michael W. Smith.
No, he did not. He would not make the cut. Stephen Curtis, yes. Michael W. Smith.
Reason, roaming through the night to find my place
really
in
good.
this world.
That's a good.
A pagan song. Well, you have no place in this world.
They just did
a
revival of that song with I think it's For King and Country. He partnered with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the Fishbone.
I can't think of that song without thinking of Mark Lowry's face in this world.
Man.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. We regress a lot.
That's so funny.
All right.
Whining on stage.
This is kind of a similar question to one we did last week, but where you talked about like if you could go back in time to like a biblical thing. This one's if you had a time machine, so not counting biblical times, what era or historical time would you go back to and why?
Historical town?
Time. So I guess I'm just trying, you could say an event, or maybe just if you're like medieval times would be cool, for example, if you want to go that way. Is there like an era or a event or a time period that would be cool to go back and see? Not to change anything, but
Dude, shoot, man, I would appreciate. I kind of think Old West. I love
like
that
Back to the Future 3.
I like my sense of justice is very much rooted in that capacity to just do what's right. And, you know, like Doc Holly, this time it's legal. And I'm like, wouldn't have mind coming up in the Old West sort of gunslinger type days. I always thought that'd be really cool. I don't know. I like that.
I can see Taylor working on a meme right now of you in a cowboy hat on a horse now.
It's definitely going to happen.
You on the tombstone poster? That's why.
I think Templars, I wouldn't mind being like the Templar. I love the Templars. They got sideways, but the whole Crusader kind of thing, I know that's probably going to get the ire of some like soft people, but I like the whole protect pilgrims on the road to Jerusalem and Suleiman. Like if I haven't seen Kingdom of Heaven, the movie Kingdom of Heaven,
I haven't seen
that. It's a really good movie. Like Ed Norton plays the King of Jerusalem during that time, during Suleiman, the 1100s.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Kingdom of Heaven. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
It's good. That would have been, so those two, 1100s, Crusader time, or Cowboys.
Yeah. Huh. I don't really know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I'm not a history. I don't know. I'm not really a history guy. I think it would be some cool things to go back and see. Like Gladiators would be really cool.
Yeah.
To go back and
Just
see,
don't want to be one.
No, right. Yeah. I don't want to be one. But I mean, as far as like that's
ancient Rome.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Ancient Rome. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think it's part of the Renaissance would be neat to experience. And maybe even like earlier, like 1900s, like the Roaring 20s, for example, some of those kind of time where
Jay
like
Gatsby.
Yeah, or like where the automobiles are being invented. I know they're older than that, but just starting to become more moving pictures, things like that. The 30s I don't want to be a part of the Great Depression, but
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah,
Frood, Frood, Genghis Khan, Joan of Arc. That's one of the best movies of all time.
Oh my gosh!
What do they call this What do they call Frood, and then Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln, yeah.
All right, moving on. What are some of your hobbies outside of work and church? What was the next question?
My hobby is shooting. I like shooting, getting good and getting better at shooting, and the whole everyday carry thing is kind of my grown up hobby.
Yeah, mine's just working outside, working on the.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't say that I have a farm because I don't have any animals, but I have land and
it's cool.
Tractor. It's fun, and so
built these awesome tables.
Yeah, DIY. I love doing DIY stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my pastime right now.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, shocker. I like playing music and doing that. I like golf. I don't get to do it much, but I like playing golf. A new thing I found I like doing is going, and I didn't think this because I don't like play golf by myself because it's a social thing, but going to the movies by myself because I like being in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll go just,
go watch a movie
watch a movie by myself, and I'm
really?
like, and there's only like a few people in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not.
Me and Elena went and watched a movie the other day, and there was an older guy that walked in by himself, and we were both like, "Oh, you're that guy."
Probably for a lot of different reasons. Because I would prefer to go with my wife and or my daughter, and we do that a lot. And then I've got a Nintendo Switch that every once in a while. I'm not a big gamer, but I like some Mario Kart or a good sports game every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just to kill some time, but
it's fun.
Hey, and Eclipse holsters. I love your holsters. And if you hear this and want to sponsor us.
Eclipse holsters.
Eclipse holsters. They're incredible. So if you're an everyday carry guy and like to shoot, Eclipse holsters are the way. They're incredible. EclipseHolsters.com.
Known long-term followers of Theology in the Dirt, the Eclipse holsters.
Yeah, they're incredible. I love Eclipse holsters. So anyway.
All right, next one is what's your favorite animal?
Dog.
Lame.
Sounds like a dead one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. One that I don't have to take care of.
No, not like one you want to own. Like, is there like
Well, I have a
like
dog.
I think this animal's cool.
Yeah,
like
I have a dog. I think to me, like the coolest animal to watch is probably like a chimpanzee.
okay, that's the one we're going after. Yeah.
Have you seen a shaved one?
Dude,
they're
they're
jacked.
Dude, they're hilarious.
They are
are
pretty funny.
And they're like human mannerisms are insane. Like it's just crazy.
Have you seen Punch? I know you're no Punch. The little monkey. I think he's a rhesus monkey.
Something like the Japanese zoo.
Japanese
Got
zoo.
rejected by his mom and his
No, I
family.
haven't seen that.
And so they threw in a like stuffed orangutan.
Yeah.
And that became like his source of
Comfort.
like comfort and touch.
I'm in love
and
with that little monkey.
safety.
I
So
love
he's just
him.
dragging it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now he's starting, like they're starting to accept him. One of them kind of took him on under his wing.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then they tried to take his stuffed animal away like a couple weeks later and replace it with a new one. And
He freaked
jumping
out.
on the trainer's legs, like trying to get, like, no. Yeah.
And the trainer, he loves one of the trainers. When he comes in to throw food, he jumps up on the trainer and hangs with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. They are fun to watch.
Monkeys
I
are
think they're
cool, yeah.
the funnest to watch.
That's cool. Yes.
As long as they don't take over the world.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Oh,
we don't need
I've-
that.
I've always liked tigers and dolphins, but I think sea turtles are kind of my favorite now. It's like, I think turtles are cool for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know why. They're just,
They're kind of graceful when you watch them swim.
yeah. And then when Finding Nemo came out, and he was like, "Dude, righteous!" Like that's how,
Yes.
that's just kind of some.
That's really what's in the
That's
back
probably
of
what
your
it is.
head.
Always, if I see a sea turtle, I'm like, "Yeah, dude,
Dude.
gnarly wave."
It's like every turtle talks like that.
Right.
I was also a big Ninja Turtles fan growing up too. So there's
Mm.
some, turtles are just neat.
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power. All right. Y'all are getting all the stuff on this episode.
Man.
If money was no object and you had the time, where would you want to travel to that you've never been to before?
Base camp, Mount Everest. I still want to do that hike. I can't climb Everest. Rainier kicked me in the teeth. I would like to do the 2-week 7 up, 7 back to base camp of Mount Everest. I really want to do that.
There's not a single word in that sentence that resonates with me.
Me neither. I'm just like, yeah, right, dude.
Dude, I love mountains. Though.
Yeah.
No,
Well, the
mountains
are
are
cool,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
But not like
Fly
that.
me to the
mountain.
top.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, I mean, it's
if I
only
had all the money
7
in the world, what are you going to do? Die.
It's only 17,600 feet at base camp. Like we higher than that in India at Ladakh and Leh. Like nearly
Yeah,
20,
that's true.
We hit those passes at like 18,000 feet. It's not
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah.
It's just the uphill all the way there, and the downhill the 7 days back is easier. But up, I mean, it's a booger.
Yeah. The highest I've ever been is like a little over 13,000. Was at Breckenridge skiing. And at their peak, oh, dude, it was awful. I was sick.
Yeah, if you go
I was
up
in
without
Breckenridge in
acclimatizing,
June
it'll
for-
get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Vertical Limit, so I don't want to go up any.
Yeah, I
climbing
mean,
up any
you
mountains.
can literally, like you're going up the ski lift, you can literally feel yourself when getting the sickness as you go up, like headache, and then you get sick to your stomach. And
You gotta hydrate, man.
Yeah, it's
Water,
crazy.
water. It's nuts.
anyway, if I'd probably be something like those, I don't know, I'm just gonna say Bali because they have
Yeah,
those really cool
Maldives
huts, yeah,
and
out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, it's
You know what I'm
pretty
saying?
cool.
Like
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
crystal clear water. You can just go swimming right off your dock.
That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot more of those in other places now, but it's not quite the same as
Yeah.
you get out there. Yeah, I would choose between something like that, except that the flight there doesn't excite me. The long flight,
yeah.
Or I would love to go through. I would love to visit Europe. Like I would love to go to like some of the big cities in Italy,
Yeah.
and Greece and like Paris,
Yeah.
London. Like I've never.
That'd be awesome.
My wife got to visit some of those when she studied abroad in Spain. So I think it'd be cool to visit in some of those cities and
You
the
definitely gotta
history
do that.
there. But
Yeah, you definitely got to do that.
that's probably more of a reality than Bali or Maldives. But I'm a beach, guy. So
Yeah.
like Bahamas would be fine. Like that's where
Yeah, it
I'd
would
love
be
to do that too. But all right, and then the last one for this section is, and this might be fun to ask you too because I know y'all are not
Great.
Here we go.
of the musical persuasion, but.
No.
What would be your go-to karaoke song if you were forced to participate?
Ooh, I already know that one. Mine's go ahead.
maybe Amarillo by Morning, George Strait,
a good
or Neon Moon by
Yeah, that's
by
a good one
Brooks and
too.
Dunn,
Yeah. I was Friends in Low Places, Garth Brooks.
Oh, that's hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
classic.
good one.
Yeah.
We could do the third verse.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be,
That would be a lot of fun.
everybody, you know, like,
That'd be awesome. Heck yeah, man.
That's good.
yeah.
I would say right now probably one of them would be Tennessee Whiskey, Chris Stapleton.
That's a hard one to sing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun one to sing. I'm not saying I would nail it or anything, but it's just a fun one to sing.
Yeah.
And then
Tennessee Whiskey.
I mean, just being honest, like karaoke singing like a Boys to Men or NSYNC or something like that is a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Boys to Men, ABC, BBD, the East Coast Family.
What's it? He doesn't say BVDs at the end of that.
No, it's BBD, Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh,
It's not BBC.
I was like, BVDs. I was like, I was talking about his underwear at the end of that song. Like, what is he talking about?
That's a little BBD, Belle Biv DeVoe. Poison.
Yeah, I remember Poison. Yeah.
That's a good song. Well, I mean, that song's actually, you listen to the lyrics, that's pretty terrible. She's
But-
pretty much.
Oh, they're bad.
That's a terrible song.
Yeah, that's bad.
She's not a good person.
No.
They're just.
Yeah.
But
You
it was
just now realizing that?
No, I just like it. Just when you said like, well, why did I say that? Why did I start singing Boys
We're
to
talking
Men?
about Boys to
We're
Men.
talking about Boys and
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah,
and then you're
Boys
like,
to Men, ABC, BBD.
Yeah.
East Coast fan. Yeah. Hey, Boys to Men. That's a good band.
Yeah.
Little acapella they could do.
Yeah, got to meet them and interview with them once. They're
What?
awesome. Yeah,
Really?
they were singing. It was some inner city school in Atlanta, and I was in college working for our like news station, and so we got permission to come down there and interview. This was right after the bass got left, so it was just the three of them.
Yeah.
Good time.
And they were like, they were, yeah.
Told you,
As
I'm
you're
eclectic,
finishing up
man.
Yeah.
the section, Mitch
I'll
is-
go background music for you.
There you go. But no, they were like as down to earth, like just chill guys. Like it was not any like celebrity don't talk to me thing.
Really?
Like, 'cause I'm like, like probably
That's cool,
20-year-old
Yeah.
college student.
Yeah, that's cool.
I did resist the urge to be like, let's go back and do one more song. The four of us.
There you go.
No, but yeah,
sure
it was
they're
a
like,
cool experience though
leave
to
me
get.
That's
to.
awesome.
I just the only thing I didn't because we didn't have the cell phone camera. We had like flip phones, but then I didn't get a picture with them. I wish I'd done that. But
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
anyway, all right. So speaking of serious things,
Okay.
we're going to
Serious.
dive into kind of our theological Christian section, and I'll apologize
God.
before we jump in because a lot of you sent in some really good questions that we just didn't get a chance to get to all of them, and so
We will.
we will try our best to get to some of those in full episodes.
Yeah.
Some of them we will not, and you'll probably know why. This probably doesn't warrant an answer, but no, most of you send them in, so we appreciate that. I just wanted to say that we couldn't get to all of them, but the first one is: can women be pastors, and why is this topic so divisive in churches and amongst Christians?
This has got to be a whole episode.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you a quick answer. First of all, I don't see pastor and elder as equivalent in the New Testament. I know that's counter in our Southern Baptist world. They see them as equivalent. I do not see pastor and elder as equivalent. The elders are to pastor. That's 1 Peter 5:1.
Pastoring is a gift.
Yeah, pastoring. I think Paul's explicit in Ephesians that shepherding, pastoring, is a ascension gift of the Lord. And therefore, with that understanding, why wouldn't a woman have the capacity to emotionally and physically care for people?
Yeah.
So can a woman exercise a shepherding gift? Yes. Can a woman eld? No.
Yeah.
The eldership, Jesus, when he chose the apostles, had every opportunity to select a Mary Magdalene, and he did, and he chose 12 men. And so the eldership function is somewhat of an apostolic succession, kind of. And eldering in the Bible is very explicit that an elder is to be a male. And so can a woman be an elder? No. Can a woman exercise a shepherding gift? Absolutely, she can. Do we call women in our church who shepherd pastors? No, we don't. And I think people make that more complicated than they need to make it, and I don't think it's harder than that. Where it gets complicated is, well, can women speak in church and not be in authority over men? And that's a different question. I think we can talk about that when we talk about that role. But shepherding, pastoring, in fact, pastoring's first qualification isn't teaching.
Yeah.
Teaching's a different gift.
Yep.
And so Can a woman exercise a shepherding ascension gift? Yes.
Yeah.
Can she be an elder? No.
Right.
I think those are two different things.
Yeah.
No,
Don't know how much more succinct you can get.
Yeah, we'll dive into that for a full episode and address some other aspects.
Yeah,
of it.
because the one about preaching and teaching is a question that comes up quite often, and it's not that it's easy to answer, but I mean you just look back at Scripture, like it literally tells you.
It does tell us, and it gets a little complicated, and this is where like in the Kneffin framework, it's a way to explain things. You can go CYN. Effin, Kneffin, but not effing that way. Kneffin framework is a complex problems aren't explained with simple solutions.
Yeah.
So if a complex thing has to be answered in a complex way.
Yeah.
And that understanding of teaching is complicated because there are places where there are instructions on how women are to speak in the gathered assembly and be under authority. Mm-hmm. And then there are passages that seem to imply she should never open her mouth. And the question is the Bible contradicting itself or not? And that's a more complicated, nuanced thing, which we can talk about, but that's not the question that we were asked.
Yeah. I mean, even to the fact, I mean, a couple of different quick facts, and we'll get into more of this, but there were prophetesses.
Yeah.
So they heard the voice of the Lord and they spoke on behalf of the Lord. So it's their
Philip had 6 daughters who were prophetesses.
Correct. And it's hard to, you got to say that very
right,
because I can't.
Right.
And then, the other part of that, when Jesus came out of the tomb, his first person that he saw was a woman.
Yep. And told her to go tell the men.
Told her to go tell the men. So there is
no, she's supposed to sit down and shut up.
Yeah, there is absolutely the role to play for a woman. Yeah. And we can dig way into that, but I agree that when you come to eldership, overseeing of the church, it's very clear it's men.
Yep.
And so, but outside of that, let's have a conversation, and we can point to 100 different places in Scripture where it's like, man, the women were important.
Absolutely. Yep.
And hopefully we won't lose any listeners after that episode. But
but
we're going to go to the text and dive in deeper.
Text.
So.
That's the thing. Well, let the text speak.
I think it's an important topic right now within our convention and within just Christian subculture, if you will, and across the board. So good stuff. That's hard to summarize. I thought y'all did a good job on that one. This next one is very similar. We're going to do a whole episode on it, and you want to dive much into it, but do you feel that things like CRT, critical race theory, and DEI are more prominent now in churches, and what are your thoughts on those specifically? So are they more prominent in churches?
They are more prominent, but I think most people don't know they're prominent or unaware they're prominent or that they're present. I think some leaders do and some leaders don't, and I think that's because CRT is a very complicated issue. It is not simple to discuss. John and I were kind of, because we were like, man, this was complicated. And we were kind of thinking on this before. And so John has some thoughts on how that manifests, because what I was sharing with John is I feel like CRT, critical theory, informs critical race theory. And I think DEI is a downstream tactic of both of those. And so you speak to DEI, I think it's really important. Let me give... Gosh, because let me give a quick synopsis. I taught a class on this in worldviews for like 10 years. And so I'm going to give you, I went back and grabbed some of my notes, and I'm going to give a real quick, very quick rundown what it is so we can kind of make sense of where to go when we do an episode on it. But critical race theory is an academic framework that seeks to examine how racism gets embedded into laws, policies, various institutions, rather than just individual acts of racism or prejudice. So it sees it more as systemic than it is individual, and then tries to explain persistent racial inequalities. So it argues that systems are innately racist. And I think that's the problem, is the argument that systems are innately racist. There's no denial that systems have problems. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's evident. But its accusation is that systems are innately in their very nature racist. And so therefore they see race, I would say race is a social, and I'm coming at this as a Christian, race is a social construct rather than a biblical idea, when in fact the Bible teaches there's one race, and it's the human race. Mm. the Bible speaks about the human race being from Babel on having the boundaries of nations and languages, but we are a human race. And the construct of there being white and black as a divider is a social creation, not a biblical distinction. Differences among humans, I said, as I kind of alluded to, are better understood in categories like nations, tribes, families, languages. And here's where this gets off the core and coming back up to that, gets off the rails, and you're coming back to seeing systems as innately racist. Because CRT at its core is Marxist. And the reason it is because it comes out of the critical theory that was developed in the Frankfurt School in the 1920s. And so if you want to go Google Frankfurt School in the 1920s and critical theory, you can start finding its connection to Marxism. And so the reason this is important is because Marxism sees a warfare between classes, the proletariat and bourgeoisie, so the working class and the ruling class. And what critical theory does is take that and move it into the realm of society and race. And critical race theory then takes that and says, okay, Marxism sees the working class and the ruling class in this conflict. And so when you start applying that theory into critical theory that turns to critical race theory, it's white versus black, Hutu versus Tutsi, Chinese versus Korean. And it becomes a systemic clash between the social construct of races. And so then it starts taking things like leadership and dominance are innately racist, and they're used to perpetuate the innately racist system. So what's the result? We fight against that power. And so what ends up happening, here's my problem with it, it's innately Marxist. Marxism is rooted in atheism. And so therefore, being rooted in atheism, it sees humans as the instigators and movers of culture, not God. And so it takes into its hands something that belongs to the Lord and his redemptive purposes, and a denial of God's purpose and all things, because, Marx, atheist, Friedrich Nietzsche, God is dead. And so I think what ends up happening is minorities, in order to make sense of their experience, are attracted to such things and then adopt them as systems in and of themselves to help combat what they see as dominance on the part of the majority. I go so far as to say that was the worldview of Martin Luther King. That was the worldview of the Hutu over the Tutsi. It's the communist revolution. It's how Mao exercised his fight. It's the Khmer Rouge of the killing fields. I mean, that's critical race theory.
You see that within cultures themselves, because when you do culture versus culture, there is already a tendency of bias.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Like you put an American in with a Chinese person. Yeah. In their culture. Yeah. The bias is towards their culture, right? And the same way they would feel if they were in the United States, right, and there was a bunch of Americans around and one Chinese national, right, there would be a tendency of the bias being towards the American national, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so with the critical race part, do you see it more within their own cultures than you do culture to culture? Does that make sense? Because it's CRT, from what and listen, I'm not an expert at all on CRT. Like I just know it from my point of view in America and when it came out. But that was more based around the race discussion from an American standpoint within American culture.
Right. That's its application in America. It's white black.
Yeah.
But
it is even and going further than that, DEI being birthed out of that, where it started adding into the other places where people felt marginalized.
Correct.
Right. So
that's the necessary evolution of CRT is if it sees systems as innately racist. This is what Bodie Baucham said way back in the day, gay is the new black. So when you take CRT, race versus race, the next iteration is to take it gay versus straight. The next iteration is to take it, you name your
man versus woman.
Man versus woman. Yeah. So we're now, the minority is always fighting an innately biased system. That's where DEI comes in, diversity, equity, inclusion. So what we do is we take the minority that is being dominated by the majority, and the goal then is to overlap those minorities. This is where identity politics comes in. If you got gay, black, woman, now you've got this. Now you've built a majority to then fight the majority system that's holding you down. And that's where DEI comes in. DEI buys into critical race theory that says there's an innately racist or sexist or some other system subverting the minority. And so what we do to make the playing field level is we identity politics, we Venn diagram them, and we build a majority to then turn around and dominate what used to be the majority. That's the Marxist dialectic. It's now we can combat this, and now we come to the end of this, and that's the dialectic. The thesis, antithesis creates a new synthesis, and in their mind, it's only done in conflict, which is where you get organizations like Antifa, who the nationalist movement needs to be crushed because the nationalist is the predominant, whatever it happens to be, sitting over the minority, and the only way to beat them is with violence. And what happens is when Christians buy into that, they start playing a game that's 10 degrees off center.
Yeah. And
it's not that minorities don't matter.
Yeah.
They do. And our system's broken, yes. But when you start playing that game and force worldviews together that aren't compatible, we get conflict.
Yes. And so I'm going to answer the question, and then I know we got to move on. But this is one that we're going to have to spend some more time on because there is a lot sitting underneath of everything we just said.
Oh, a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that I said it all right. That's my best understanding.
Yeah, and I think we need to spend some time mashing it up, and it may even take a couple of episodes. I know this is very important. A lot of people talk about this. A lot of people have questions about it, most especially in walking in line with Jesus and what he taught.
Yeah.
But I can say from the question, going back to the question, how does it gotten into the church? So as these things get formed, they find their way into capitalism, right, into businesses, and then now this business won't buy from this business unless this business has this particular group, right? Yep. So then it escalates from there. Unfortunately, Christian churches take their processes and methodologies from capitalist businesses and they apply them to the church. And the next thing you know, now you got to have these different people or accept these different kind of groups or ideologies in order for people to come to my church, right? So it becomes a growth model versus just literally just being a Christian and following Jesus and letting that be enough.
Yeah.
We follow the model usually of a business model for the church model because it's a growth mindset. It's not a depth. It's not a be more holy, be, sin, like all those things that Jesus taught us to be. It's against that. It's not about growth. It's about maturity.
That's
Then they double down on it by pulling out scriptures to support it, to make it Christian, and then you've got this situation now. Inclusivity is idolatry.
Yeah,
and inclusivity and growth is now the focus.
And this is where we could go. Man, we could stay here for a long time because the kingdom is inclusive.
Yes.
You believe in Jesus? Yes. Come on.
Yeah.
But also out of that, it's also very exclusive.
Yes.
In that. But this is the only way in.
Yeah. Yes.
And where our tribe, super conservative, right wing, Bible believing, politically, all that stuff, I think deny some realities is that we aren't appropriately critical of racist systems.
Yeah.
There are systems that are racist,
Yes.
and there are horrible things that have happened in the name of evil.
Yes.
And that's not excusing
God's word's
them.
been perverted to come in line with the ideologies of man.
That's right. And so what that means is that the hostile wall of division between Jew and Gentile, slave and free, has been torn down, meaning God intends integration of those who are in Christ. The problem is when you start trying to integrate not Christ, but integrate a Marxist ideology into a non-Marxist ideology. And that's where the critique is, not in race, because we're a human race. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hutu, Tutsi, Korean, Vietnamese, whatever it happens to be, is not the identity.
Yeah.
It's the worldview brought to the table. And if that worldview is dialectical in its nature, it's critical theory, and it's Marxist, which is atheist, and they never blend. And so that's the problem. So I don't want people to hear us advocating for all white and we shouldn't integrate. No, that's garbage.
It's garbage.
But we are advocating for there is no integration between theism and atheism. That's
right.
darkness and light. They don't mix.
Yeah.
So if you're in Christ, and that's and what it gets down to is what is the good news? Because if the good news for people is liberation from a system, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are people and minorities who've bought the good news as a liberation theology, not a reconciliation back to the Father.
Yeah.
And I would argue that's where we got to parse this thing out,
Yeah.
where it gets complicated, because I have friends who are part of the same tribe who have bought a liberation theology, and I would argue it is a Marxist ideology cloaked in a gospel T-shirt, and I don't think there's any unity there.
But and because what they're trying to do, they're trying to rewrite the definition of love.
Correct.
And you can't rewrite the definition of love. The only one that gets that right is the author of love, and that's Jesus.
That's right.
And so you can't rewrite that. So the problem is we're trying to put our human ideologies on top of what Jesus said, and then trying to make it fit. It don't fit.
Right.
It don't fit.
It don't fit. That's right.
And so it goes back. I mean, when we go into design, like I love the image of. I'm an engineer, so when we have a design mind.
Yeah.
When you design something, you design it with parameters.
Yeah.
The parameters are important. You operate outside those parameters, what happens? It freaking breaks.
Breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go jump in your car and smash on the gas pedal and never put it in drive and see if your engine don't blow up.
Right.
Why? Because it ain't designed that way.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
the same way with Jesus. He designed us as a way to operate that we don't break. And,
That's right.
And in His goodness and in His love of His divine love, He built us this way.
That's right.
So it's not Him, it's interesting to me how we can try to rewrite the things that are not ours.
Yeah, that's good, man.
They're not ours.
They're not ours. And I think something here too, I think the downstream hope for some people inside Christianity is they're trying to build for a unity as a vision, not an outcome. And I think that's a gross miscalculation, because I think this whole idea of unity with as an end in itself is upside down. Because this whole idea that we can be unified without understanding what is driving that unity is foolishness, because what they're saying is, well, our unity is in the fact that there's unity and God calls us to unity. I'm like, no, God calls us to Christ, and in that Christ to be unity. But if you're saying Christ equals the blending of Marxist ideology with Western civilization, I'm going, we're never going to be unified. I'm not going to be unified in that.
Yeah.
They went out from us because they were not of us. God doesn't value unity as a vision. He values unity as an outcome of the fact that you're in Christ and you've rejected everything apart from Christ. And what I would say is CRT people have invited a godless ideology and cloaked it in Christian language, and then want me to be unified to that. And I will say I will never be unified to that. And I will let God sort that out on the last day. Because I feel like I can see in enough detail to see that's godless and you've called it Christian. I think that works itself out in the whole place of trying to bring a fake unity between faiths. We do not share equal truth claims. One of us is wrong. And I cannot propagate a lie for the sake of unity. That's not compatible. We don't have unity if one of us is lying.
We could go with some mates because it feels.
I'm getting fired up.
Yeah, no, it's good. But there's all good questions. It begs another question. It's like, man, the way why does it feel like Christians are the only ones that will bend to that?
Yeah, we're the only ones given.
Yeah, you talk to anybody else about what their beliefs. They're that man, they're headstrong, man.
Yeah, man.
They believe this is the way it's going. Like, cool, man. We can stand on our own. And
we're supposed to be the ones to give up our distinctive.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to advocate for a worldview that puts our women in head coverings and relegated to second-class citizens.
Yeah.
They might not be able to be elders, but that's not a relegation to second class.
That was a good little.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was like a good little mashup of questions there.
Because what you end up having, what the Bible does is elevate women to coming next to man, not under him.
Yeah.
And man, God, and so I think that's CRT just confuses what it does. I think it's a godless satanic deception that falsely sees all systems as innately racist, and I think that's where it breaks down, because God creates systems. Are systems broken? Yes. Can they be redeemed? They are being redeemed, but it's not through the dialectic. It is through Christ and Christ judging things that aren't up to standard and getting them out.
Yep.
Which is where governments ought to be Christian. So I'll drop that on you. And because if the kingdom is coming and Jesus is returning and all things are going back to Eden, there will be a day in which governments will be ruled under Christ. And if redemption is going forward and the kingdom is advancing and domains matter, there's a point at which Christians will be running those governments, not muftis and not Buddhists. And I'm sorry, and that offends, but I'm stopping there.
Yeah, I know, because we could get into the Christian government part too, because
yes, all legislatures should be baptized members of local churches, and they should.
Here we go. All right. Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Let's table it there, and then we'll pick it back up when we do the full episode.
I'm not passionate.
Jesus isn't a democracy.
Yeah, and if you want more on it, you can go to my favorite 90s Christian band, DC Talk. Has a great song called Color People, and that'll be helpful to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, we can stay on that one for a while.
You could, yeah. No, that's good. All right, this one's not quite as anger incentivizing, but
passion.
Oh, you're right, passion. All right, so and I think this could go a different way. So the way this is worded is: do you think we will be able to see our loved ones from heaven? I assume they're asking, can we see when we're in heaven? Can we see family members? Or what they're doing on earth, I think is what is being asked.
Is that what is being asked?
I don't think it's asking, will we see our family in heaven?
Because I had a question of the question from heaven. That
if you want to do both, that's fine.
Because the preposition matters. We'll be able to see our
in heaven.
In heaven or from heaven.
Question says from heaven.
Okay.
So I think people argue that from Hebrews 11. They talk about the great cloud of witnesses that are watching, that are witnesses. And they assume that means that all dead people in Jesus are watching us. And that is not what Hebrews 11 says. The great cloud of witnesses are witnessing to what was previously said in verse 1, and that is they are witnessing to a life of faith. So it says, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And then he goes on this list of people and examples of how they live by faith. And he calls them a great cloud of witnesses. And so people come to that and assume that my mama and my daddy believe the gospel and they've passed on and now they're witnessing, they're watching me. And so they're observing. So when I pass on in faith, am I going to be observing my kids? I think that's the question. What I would say is no.
Yeah.
That is not what that means. What that means is these people have witnessed to, they have, the word witness is to martyrion. They have witnessed in their life what a life of faith is. Mm-hmm. And so they modeled for us in how to live. So that in that manner, they are witnesses to a life of faith, not they are watching us over the ramparts of heaven.
I don't know if anybody would like. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they are grabbing Hebrews 11 and doing that.
Yeah.
I think some people are just grabbing it and being like, "Man, I just want that comfort to know that mom's
I'm looking
watching.
in on them.
Mama's watching."
Yeah,
but it's like, and the way that I've always thought about that is, Jesus said, when you're with him, there will be no more tears. If they could see what's happening here, they'd be tears.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you they can't see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Not saying that I won't, hopefully see them again, but it's, here, I just don't, I don't believe it.
I do have questions about other stuff. It's another podcast about the other realm, the intermediate state, that I don't have answers to, but I don't think that's what they're asking.
No.
I think I'm reading into the from gives me indication, because I grew up believing, hearing like Hebrews 11 is our family looking in on us, and I don't think that's at all what the writer of Hebrews is saying. I think we explained that, but from, no. I mean, are they able to see what's going on? I have some, but I don't think that's what they're asking.
They can be called back. Samuel was called back.
Samuel was called back, and I think there's some. I think we can make a case for some stuff, but I don't want to get into that. That's another podcast.
I don't think they have like a radio station tuning thing where they can go, let's see what old Chris is up to today, kind of thing, or like, let me see what's happening.
Well, I would go so far as to say, I think there's a component of, depending on the nature of a death, dying matters. And this is why Christians, there's a call. I think there's a call on Christians to die well, to die in fellowship as best we can. And I think our system is set up against that. And I think there's something to being present with each other when we go home, if possible. And I think there's something to laying that body to rest well. God is clear we're made in his image. That's also physical.
Yeah.
I think we're made in the image of the eternal Son of God, Jesus Christ, which is why Christians bury, we don't burn. And there's a history in that. It's not written in the Bible, but I think it's fairly clear that Molech and these sons of God who are rebellious, they burn. The history of the people who follow the Lord is they place gently, because there's this belief that it will be raised up and redeemed. And so I think how this body gets treated in its death affects some components of the human.
Yeah.
Another podcast.
Because that could bring up a lot of things, like what happens if you die in a fire.
I think that's a topic that we got to talk about, because I can tell you from I'll be very careful what I say here. When we die, we're not in our completed state. That's what we call this in the discipline of theology, the intermediate state, because there's a resurrection coming. There's a reuniting of a redeemed, 1 Corinthians 15, flesh that's been made perfect, and those immaterial parts of us get mashed back up at the resurrection. And so in that intermediate state, Jesus talks about the rich man and Lazarus at rest in Abraham's bosom. That's the top half of Sheol, torment, bottom half of Sheol. That's not the permanent state. But it's a state, and it's a state that the witch at Endor brought Samuel back up from. Meaning there is some transversing going on, and I have a question about whether or not...
I have lots of questions.
If it's not laid to rest in peace or alone, is there some sense at which we help that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a really good way of going to the next question. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, because if you've ever helped somebody die well, it's a holy moment.
Yeah, you can talk through. Yeah, absolutely, it is. And you can listen to those that's had near death experiences that have passed into the next and then come back.
Yeah,
and they have wild stories.
Yep, and talked about being helped along by like trapped in this state. If there's something horrible happen, there's kind of this like there's a permission. And listen, I know that's going to wig some people out, but if you dig into people's testimonies, you shepherd people and you bury people, you hear some wild stuff.
Yeah,
and it's, you want to match it with the scriptures, and you have to. But there's enough weird stuff there to make us go, man, this is worth exploring and asking some questions and being careful with each other. This is why.
Yeah.
I think, man, I hope I get to die full of the Spirit and with the people who love me present, not afraid to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to be that way for us. Like, that if the Lord, when he calls us, it's our appointed day that we get to do that full of the Spirit and with each other, not alone. I just don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. And so that doesn't mean, and then we get to go be fully with the Lord until that resurrection day and not fretting about what I'm looking in on. So anyway, sorry, that's a little emotional. But
no, that sounds like another topic to do.
There's so much there.
Next one's a little bit lighthearted, so that'll give you a little break from the serious.
It's good.
This one is why is Christian entertainment by and large so cheesy and not have the quality of mainstream entertainment?
It's getting better.
And I'll jump on this one because I just being in that world a lot. The simple answers are a lot of things. Number one is budget. Yeah. Two, part of the problem is, again, and we talked about this a lot, of creating a separate Christian production company and having to make Christian movies rather than just making good movies about Christian themes. I love Facing the Giants, but it's super cheesy and it's super low budget.
Just good movies that are just wholesome movies.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because and to be honest, there's a large market for that.
Yeah.
Because what used to be and it's funny because my daughter, she loves watching like the show like Reba.
Yeah.
And I got her into Full House, and so she watched all of Full House.
Yeah.
And not that those don't have their issues, and don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, there was times where wholesome was the standard, not the exception.
Yeah.
And that's not really the case now. And so
Kevin James just came out with one.
yeah?
Solo Mio.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
I saw the advertisement.
It's really good. Man, I watched it in the theater.
Milo Ventimiglia, I think is his name. He's in the new I Can Only Imagine 2.
Okay, yeah.
But that first one was good. And I've heard really good things about this one. The Kendrick brothers, who have done they've kind of set the standard over the years with like Facing the Giants, Courageous, the firefighter one, several of them.
Yeah.
They've got one called the Forge. That's a few years ago. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. So what you said, they're getting better. I do agree they are getting better. I think they're becoming more, because it's kind of like trying to separate those between like the Hallmark movies that are cheesy, but can be wholesome. A lot of it's budget. A lot of it's it's hard to get a lot of mainstream actors in it because it's easy to get those. It's easy to be blacklisted by other ones. You see that just from actors choosing not to do. There's the guy. I forget his name now. He's been in a lot of stuff, but he made a conscious effort to. He won't do any kissing scenes or any sex scenes.
Oh yeah, he's Buck Compton from Band of Brothers.
Yes, yeah,
he's
in Yellowstone.
What's his name?
He's actually a really good actor.
He is,
but he struggles to get jobs though,
yeah,
because of his beliefs.
He's a Catholic. He's a good Catholic.
Yeah. Chris Pratt takes a lot of flack because of his beliefs, even though he does kind of all kind of movies. But
I love him.
Kevin James took some slack
Yeah.
Here recently because he decided he didn't want to be political. He was just like that. I just want people just need me to be funny. They don't care about what I think about politics.
Yeah,
that should be the case. Yeah.
Well, Hollywood jumped on him, for that. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah, the new Angel Studios, like I'm not buying another service, but the David animation movie looks amazing.
Oh, Elena saw it in the theater. She thought it was good. Oh, she thought it was good. She wanted to watch it with me, and I was like, I'm not paying $20 for it. She's like, Dad, you're so cheap.
I've heard the House of David is really good on Prime. I saw like one episode.
Dude, House of David's really good.
But the second season, you got to buy.
No, if you wait a little bit longer, it's going to come out.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay, because I want to see.
And then we could probably do a whole episode on The Chosen. I've never actually watched it. I've heard a lot of people think it's good, and then you hear a lot of people against it. But
first, second season, that I don't know.
I don't understand people critical of it. It's an artistic. They took an evangelical, a Messianic Jew, and a Catholic for research, and they take some license and some liberty, but it tells a pretty faithful story. Jennifer and I have gone to the theater to see season 5. I can't wait for season 6. Let me just say this to people. If you watch The Chosen to get your Bible content, that's a you problem. If you're expecting them to just the dialogue to be straight out of the Bible, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's a movie. Go watch it for what it is and be analytical, but make sure you're reading your Bible.
But those same people are watching Game of Thrones, though.
Yeah, not criticizing Game of Thrones. I'm going like, come on, man. I've been moved by it. Jennifer and I've loved every season of The Chosen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm willing to defend it. So
I'll say this before we move on. I really want to see what Mel Gibson does with The Passion too. He's going from the resurrection through.
Have you seen him?
The resurrection.
He starts at the resurrection and he's going through the all the apostles'
the death of the last apostle.
Yeah. And so
he said on Rogan, he's starting with the fall of the
yeah.
angels.
So basically through Acts.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
it's focusing on the resurrection. Yeah. He started filming in 2025. Took him 7 years to write this script.
Yeah.
The screenplay.
So
I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see The
There's some
Passion
other
of the
podcasts.
Christ?
Yeah, I have.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's really well done. It's
I
not
appreciate
not a
it.
rewatcher, but very often. But
It's the one where
Right.
it's all in Hebrew, right?
It's Aramaic.
Aramaic,
It's
yeah.
Aramaic, yeah.
Okay.
Which is fascinating because that's kind of the language of the day. He
Yeah,
did that
I agree
so
with that.
well.
He did.
if
Yeah, it
you
was
dive
like,
into,
I hate
the-
subtitles,
the-
so.
if you
I
go
know.
in sometime and spend some time looking in like to some of the interviews that Jim Caviezel's done about the things that happened to him, the comparisons. He was 33 at the time. There's a lot. There's a
That's
lot of
wild.
these like really odd things. The attacks that have
Yeah.
that physically happened to him, but also from he got blacklisted as well. So anyway, it's fascinating. But
Yeah.
all right, moving on. Next one is Mitch, you're gonna love this one. As a society, both of y'all are we drawing closer to the world of idiocracy, intellectually speaking?
Yes.
Yes.
Short
Next
answer.
question.
Yeah.
Y'all-
Can
that-
I ask a dumb? I don't think I know what idiocracy means.
Means you're an idiot.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
so many jokes, and I can't. There's too many there.
Because I read that and I was like, idiocracy. I'm not sure. Like, does that mean idiot?
Huh?
Yeah.
And like, well, sure, but it feels like I'm being
It's
overtly negative. Like,
I can't think of the name of that movie. It's got Luke Wilson in it, and he's like the smartest. That's like the world has gone completely dumb, and he becomes like. Anyway, I will add this because I think the short answer is yes, but a lot of it too is we're also losing the capacity for critical thinking.
Yeah.
Mainly children are because of devices and because of things. They're just not learning how to critically think, how to problem solve. I know teachers see this every day. It's like they're asking. It's like in a world where all the answers are immediate. In a moment where you don't have an immediate answer, it's like your brain can't go, okay, I don't have an immediate answer, so I need to think through that situation.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous though, because you think about like what these people are going to be in positions of power, and don't get me started on Congress. I think they should all be wiped out and start afresh, because I think we see a lot of this there. But you know what I mean? So it's there's a lot of reasons for it, and that could probably be its own podcast too. But
Yeah, I agree.
short answer, it feels that way.
I think that the critical thinking part is an important part, because some people will say that the information age is the problem, and it is. I mean, part of that is like having information at our fingertips. I get that. I always hated like rote memorization stuff, which is really just you're just memorizing information. Well, I mean, if you know where to go get the information, it's over there. You don't need to.
it's pretty much kindergarten, elementary level
Yeah,
education is just
Right.
memorizing stuff.
that's right.
Yeah.
But what it has done is we've stopped problem solving. We stopped doing critical thinking. The second part of that, because we're allowing everybody else to think for us, and AI is a prime example in a lot of different instances.
Yeah. Maybe getting at the root of that question is the need to be curious again. Like there's something that happened where people, and maybe not everybody, I'm kind of innately curious. So if there's something to be known, I'm going to try to figure it out because I'm curious. I want to know. It's fun for me. I felt like that needs to be more of a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, cause that,
Give somebody a problem they can't figure out.
right. Then it lends to you learning some skills,
Yeah.
right? You have to go use your brain, you got to use your hands, use your feet, all the stuff. And that helps us develop. And I feel like, so if people aren't having to do that, they're kind of becoming an idiot.
Yeah.
And they're like, not in the Dwight Schrute sense, it calls Jim, but idiot. But in the sense of like, no, we're losing capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think and I think that part of that too is the leadership part of that. You have to be asking some questions that they're incapable of.
Right.
They have to be capable of doing critical thinking in order to solve.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. Next one up is, can y'all settle the debate between free will and predestination?
Nope.
Yes and yes. Done.
Next.
Yeah. Next.
Both and, not either or.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible's clear that God elects and predestines. He uses those words.
Yes.
I just know, like, I have people who question that. I'm like, well, deal with Ephesians 1 and Romans 8 and 9.
Yeah.
It's just clear. But then,
Or just the choosing of Israel.
yeah, the choosing of Israel. But then people make real decisions that really matter.
Yeah.
And they count. And so I guess my response, I mean, it is a little more complicated than that, but it's also not less complicated than that. It's like you make real decisions that matter.
Yeah.
Like if
You can choose to sin or not.
Yeah. If you want to get really detailed, go read Jonathan Edwards' book, Freedom of the Will. and it's really complicated and hard to read, and I can save you a lot of time by telling you there are decisions you make that God lets you make.
Yeah.
That he's given you the space to make it, and you freely make that decision. There's some things he hasn't given me the freedom to do, like sprout wings and fly. So I don't get to do that. But so he's put boundaries up around my decision making. Unless I'm Red Bull gives you wings. Yeah. And so there's a sense
they had to like change. They by law had to change that
because
phrase
somebody jumped off of a building or something
to add more eyes and wings. That's why there's multiple eyes and it gives you wings instead of just wings.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's because
that's idiot.
Yeah, that goes back to the last question. Yeah.
Hey, we're doing all kinds of wrapping in questions here.
Well, I think for this one, the short answer is very simple. When you get down to the next level, it's like, well, that also doesn't mean I can just sin all I want to and all is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Or it also doesn't mean that, well, it's already been chosen, so I don't have a chance. So why spend my time trying to worry about that if I'm not one of the elect?
Yep.
And it's a lot more. It's a lot simpler than that and a lot more complicated than that at the same time, which is
you make real decisions that matter, and God's really sovereign, and both of those work together in His good plan of things.
Right.
And so, don't think we can settle it, but I do think that's pretty simple and I think fairly straightforward.
Yeah, well, you could talk about that one for hours too, like situationally, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 All right. We got two more in this section, and then we'll get some rapid fire. So this one is: so how are there supposedly Nephilim before the flood, but also after the flood? So it's a two-part question. That's one. And then why are there some pretty big, pun intended, I guess, discrepancies on the size of certain people like Goliath? And some will say he's around 10 feet tall. Some say he's closer to 6 feet tall. So it's kind of two different questions. But
I think the earth flooded. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Genesis 6:4 said the Nephilim were on the earth after. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to give you my quick conclusion because there are three options, but I'm going to give you the one I think it is.
Yeah.
I think
we're aligned here.
Yeah,
Keep
we're
going.
probably aligned probably through the line of Ham. So either Ham's decision, what he did with his dad, or his wife. He either developed the Nephilim strain by sinful decision making that aligned with what the Watchers did in Genesis prior to Genesis 6, or his wife was a descendant of Nephilim and she had the strain in her. And so through the line of Ham, because from Ham come the Rephaim, all the other giant clans. And so the strain was either in Ham by his decision to do what he did to his father, or in his wife, because it's clear we got Goliath.
Yeah, or somewhere in the genealogy of that going back to Genesis 6, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely is in the Ham line.
It's either Ham developed it by what he did to his dad from that, or his wife had it because she's the only not Noahic descendant there. The wives, we don't know where they came from.
Yeah.
So she's either a seed from the seed war of the serpent and has that strain in her and is manifest as they start having kids, or it's Ham, but it's one of the two.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And
not that any survived the flood. I don't think that's the case.
No, that's right. And we can, on Genesis 10 in the genealogy, you can read it there. Mizraim was, let me go back, hang on. Mizraim was a son of Ham, right? So verse 6 in chapter 10. Keep on, go down a little bit. Mizraim fathered Ludum and 9. I'm going to screw up all these names. But it gets to Casluhim. I don't know, dude. I'm not Hebrew. It says, from whom the Philistines came, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now flip over to Goliath. Where's Goliath from? Philistines,
so
right? You can track the genealogy back through Ham. So that's the
absolutely
the trail. And then going to the part about the height. Well, I mean, it literally says what his height was.
It does.
And so it says in 1 Samuel 17 in verse, where is it? Golly, where'd it go? His height was 6 cubits and a span. And that's 1 Samuel 17, verse 4. A cubit is about 1.5 feet, so multiply that by 6.
Right.
It's a little over 9 foot. A span was about 9 inches or so.
Yeah.
So 9'9",
9'9",
pretty close to 10.
Pretty close to, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's a big dude. And then you keep reading about all the stuff that he had on him. I mean, keep reading it. It was pretty explicit. Large, heavy weights. I mean, this guy was a
sword was taller than most
so
of the men.
there ain't no way this dude was only 6 foot.
Yeah.
He'd have crumbled.
I agree. I think it's interesting. Douglas Van Dorn, I love Doug Van Dorn. His book called Giants. All of Van Dorn's research is really good. I would encourage people to get his books and read them slowly. Some of the where that question I think roots in is there's question on the Greek translation of the Old Testament, which is the Septuagint, having some alternative figures in it. And so some people reason back to the archaeology, because there's two schools of thought. Either the Septuagint's alternative measurements are accurate, meaning they were a little shorter, but people were also shorter. Because when you dig in the dirt archaeologically, people were shorter. And so a 7 foot tall dude shack around 4 feet 5 inch people, it's pretty freaking massive.
Oh yeah.
And so that's about the same as a 6 foot person like myself to a 9 footer now.
Yeah.
Same difference. People also talk about, and they're actually newspaper articles from the early 1900s here in Northwest Georgia.
Yeah.
On giant skeletons being found in Indian mounds. And so
the Guinness Book of World Records guy that was
eight something.
Yeah.
Wald Smith or Waldsworth,
Right.
something like that.
he was close to 9 foot.
But what those articles talk about is the Smithsonian coming to pick those giant skeletons up. I think that's fascinating. So the lack of archaeological skeletons is rooted in the fact that there's enough evidence that shows the Smithsonian in America came and got those skeletons. I don't know what they did with them.
Yeah.
And actually for Jennifer's 50th birthday with some friends, we had a fun time. We got together and talked about our favorite conspiracy theory. But somebody brought for fun some articles from the Rockmart Journal in the early 1900s about the Smithsonian coming to get giant skeletons and some mounds found in Rockmart and Polk County.
Oh, that's wild.
Fascinating.
That's wild.
So it's kind of out there. And so I guess I'm saying, for me, the hand's open on the size of the giants.
Yeah.
Because which one's accurate, I don't know. Whatever they are, they were larger than normal people, and they had powers beyond normal people.
Yeah.
They were usually, at least they had some mystical component about them. So I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But where they came, got to be from the line of Ham.
Yeah.
Best I can come up with. But I don't believe that the flood was geographical. I think it was total earth. I think the text is clear, but I think Ham's he's the seed of the serpent.
Yeah.
Or his wife was.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Even his
What's a fun
generations after
question?
him. Yeah, it was a fun
God,
question.
That's a good question.
It is really good.
Yeah, and we got merch about Nephilim, so go get you a
We
Nephilim
do.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, in this section, and this is actually really relevant a lot today, as we see this discussed a lot, and it's why are some Old Testament laws irrelevant or not important today, while others are still being adhered to. So, for example, things like eating clean certain foods, braiding hair, wearing clothes with mixed fibers, like some of those Levitical laws that some people argue in place of like, well, you're doing this, then you're breaking the law, kind of thing. So y'all know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
You want to go?
I mean, it's to me, I don't. I simplify the answers to a lot of things, right? I mean, it's Jesus.
good.
And I think Jesus didn't come to abolish the law; he came to fulfill it.
Right.
And so, I think that there's not a letter of the law that gets wiped away, right? He also says that. So, why we don't today? I think because of grace.
Yeah.
I think that we have room for those things. He makes things clean that were unclean. There's a lot of things that we can point back to in that. When you get down to like splitting hairs on certain things, which then we started getting into the reason why Paul went to the churches and said, "What are you arguing over menial things for?"
Yeah. These indeed have an appearance of godliness, but they are of no value in subduing the flesh.
Yeah.
So like, do not handle, do not taste. There's that sense in which they look spiritual, but in fact, he flat out told the Colossians they're of zero value
Yes.
in putting to death the deeds of the flesh.
Right. Exactly.
And so Yeah, absolutely. I think it was interesting because I think it's a little more complicated answer. And in Galatians is clear the law was our teacher to lead us to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So the law served a purpose to show us we can't be justified by our works, can't live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just said, Jesus said, "I didn't come to abolish it; I came to fulfill it."
Yep.
So what he said is true. My question is a little more than that. Is like it clearly served that gospel function, but I also think there's some practical benefit there, and I don't know what all it is.
No, I agree with that. But what is he? Not everything. What did Paul say? Not everything for me is profitable.
Yeah. He said not all things are permissible, but not everything is profitable.
Yes. So I think that there are some things in there, like
I think that's
if I eat certain foods,
Yeah.
my stinking belly freaking hurts.
But am I violating the standard of God? No.
Right.
Because Jesus flat out said, "Thus he declared all foods clean." That's the commentary of the gospel writers.
Yep.
Meaning that pork's clean.
Yeah, but you go look at what pork eats versus what he said that's clean that eats. You'll understand why.
Is too much of it good for me? No.
Right. Like, yeah.
Because I think you deal with those things in the law that talks about we hit this Sunday what an
Right.
unclean spirit is. There are boundaries God set up about not mixing species of animals
Boundaries.
and plants.
Boundaries is love.
Yes. Because listen, I'm going to tell people are going to think I'm a nut, but I'm convinced that
They already do.
They already do. Which one of the reasons God had them use linen and natural fabrics that weren't blended is because they have an effect on the human being. Like everything, like if quantum physics is real, and I believe it 100%, it has to be. We know protons, neutrons, electrons are there. You're an engineer.
Yeah.
Those electrons are made up of something. They don't just exist in and of themselves. They're made up of smaller particles. We know this because of whole string theory. We know that these things vibrate at different frequencies. And we know that because we can catch the vibrations, but we can't catch a picture of them because they're so small we can't get light to bounce off of them and give us a picture, which is fascinating. And so the whole concept of quantum physics lets us know that everything's putting off of a vibe.
Yeah.
The whole idea of a vibe isn't wrong. That's not New Age. That's just what Jesus made. Pagans have beat us to the punch by using language that I think belongs to Jesus. So when you start using that language like you're New Age, I'm like, no, that belongs to Jesus. They're just using it for dark purposes. So when you like blend fabrics, it puts off a different frequency than unblended fabrics. We know that because you can measure it in light. So what happens when you're wearing Nike moisture wicking synthetic stuff versus cotton? We know those frequencies affect the human brain in certain ways. We know this scientifically. It's a fact. And so I think God goes, this one's good for you. This one's not. So don't blend them. This will make you feel better. This will make you feel sick. And we're like, no.
Yeah.
I'd rather do it my way.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one. So I think God gave us some of those laws, not to save us, but like, hey, I made stuff a certain way. If
Yes.
you'll pay attention to me, you'll feel better.
He's the designer.
Yeah.
He knows how we operate.
Right.
And it's good. And the things that he says is good.
And it won't save you.
Yeah.
And
right.
so if you don't get tattoos because you think you're going to go to heaven, you're probably going to go to hell. But if
I don't
you
know.
yeah, that's probably not true. Listen to that with grain of salt. But if you think your uninked skin is going to get you in the gate,
Yeah.
you're going to go to hell.
Yeah. That's not what gets you in and where it gets you
But
out.
if you ink for the worship of your dead relatives and some demon, you're probably going to go to hell too. And so I'm not saved by my ink or lack of ink. I'm saved by faith in Christ because that is there to teach me that Jesus is the way. But is ink really good for me? Maybe not. It could get in my lymph system. Miss Kara's always telling me you got to be careful of that because you get in your
well, I mean,
system
if you ever got a tattoo, it's needles
And it
and
hurts.
and you bleed.
you bleed.
It hurts. Like it's getting in your bloodstream. There is a risk.
Yeah.
And so why not get tattoos? Because there's a freaking risk you're gonna get infection.
Yeah.
And God doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Now that didn't stop me.
Didn't stop me either.
And so, but at the same time,
That's right.
I'm not going to hell because of it.
Right.
You know, and I think that
Yeah, and the same thing, and that's the same principle. Like he declared all foods clean. Eat the shrimp, but don't think that you're going to be saved because you don't.
yeah. I mean, there's a potential for Mercury.
Yeah, and then it goes back to
Maybe.
That was my whole like soliloquy there on like maybe it's beyond just salvation and just the way God wired the universe to go. There's some good things and better things.
Yeah,
and I gave you some hints at. I think that's why Proverbs 25:2 is such a glorious.
Yeah, I mean, he says don't eat things, don't eat fish without scales. Well, that rules out stinking catfish, and it's delicious.
See, I don't like catfish.
You don't like
No,
catfish?
the texture is not firm enough. I like firm.
Oh man, I love catfish.
Flaky.
Catfish sandwich.
Properly
I just like
fried is.
fried.
Oh yeah,
Fried,
well
yeah.
yeah, of
Properly
course.
fried, but
You
it's
fry
just
everything in the
mealy.
South.
Yeah, you by God,
Yeah.
sure do.
Yeah,
Makes it better.
absolutely.
That's probably enough.
Yeah, I'll just add on real quick. There's also some differences too, because you've got moral law, you've got civil law, and ceremonial law. And ceremonial law is not like others because it was more. You know, we don't have to go through a high priest anymore, so we don't have to do certain actions to come to him. We can come as we are, and so that's a really short answer for something that can be very expansive, but it's important too if you're looking at it from historical context and actually what the Bible's saying is important to
I agree. And I think that designation too is going to lend how we talk about governments and stuff, because I wonder, it's easy for me to categorize them in those three categories, and part of me wonders if that's possible. I don't know. My jury's out on that, but I think that lends itself too to how we see a construction of a government, because there are people in that they're full constructionists, full reconstructionists, partial reconstructionists. You're talking about building a government. What part of the law do you use? Did God give us a blueprint, or did He not? Or are there other tools to use? And it's that breaking the law down into three categories comes back to that. But anyway, that's more than you asked for.
All right, ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah, rapid
let's
fire.
do it.
We gotta
All
do
right.
it.
Is it GIF or GIF? Which team are you on? You know what I'm talking about, like when you send like
It's
the
a
little
GIF.
video.
It's a GIF.
I'll say GIF. as
GIF for the peanut butter. GIF for
It's
the
GIF.
video.
GIF.
well. Perfect transition in the next one. Creamy or crunchy peanut butter?
Crunchy.
Creamy.
All right, I'm
on, man.
gonna split the difference here. I like crunchy when it's peanut butter and jelly. I like creamy when I have peanut butter banana, or if I'm dipping something.
Yeah.
Nice. I like peanut butter
You
either
gummed
way.
a banana
Yes.
lately?
Yeah, by God. I drank one about a few minutes ago.
Oh, did you?
Oh, no,
Blended it up?
Yeah, I did. I did blend it up. Now that's more for y'all to make fun of me.
I also like
Wait,
it
my
inside
smoothie.
inside of a chocolate cup in a Reese's package.
Yeah,
Love some
creamy.
peanut butter. All
Creamy
right,
Skippy. Skippy Natural.
Skippy Natural.
Skippy is good.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the ability to fly or to be able to breathe underwater?
Ooh.
Fly.
Fly.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You can die either way. There's things in the air that'll kill you and things in the water, but I
A
feel
lot
like you
more
got a
things
better.
in the water, I
feel
feel.
like yeah.
I'd rather fall out of the sky than being consumed by a
Yeah.
great white.
No more dinosaurs in the sky, but there you don't know what's down there. We've only
true.
explored 10%.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
What if they're mer people?
Who knows, man? I mean, we've only explored 10% of the expanse of the oceans.
How is that possible? That's wild.
We should be more inclusive to mer people. they have rights.
Here we go again.
What if you're gay, Indian, and mer,
Oh my gosh.
and woman?
All right, next one.
Next question.
I saw this on another podcast one time, and I thought it was a funny question, an interesting one. So, if you had to survive for 24 hours straight in an abandoned mall, and you can choose either one fully grown male silverback gorilla or 7 black mamba snakes are loose after you, which would you rather go against?
Oh, snakes.
No.
I can't do like a silverback gorilla could beat me all day long if it catches me, but I can kill a black mamba. I've camped in the African bush I've actually had to.
I don't know. I
haven't had them
snakes.
chase me.
I think I'd rather die
just
by the
seems
hands
like-
of the gorilla.
I think
than-
I would too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like quicker.
I can't stand snakes.
Yeah, you don't get bit, and then you die when your leg rots off. You know, I don't know.
And if you're just put in there and they're already in there and you have no idea where they are, at least the gorilla, I know where that thing is going to be.
Yeah, and he can't get into spaces. I can crawl in a little tight space. He can't get to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. There's reasons for both.
Yeah,
All right, soda or juice?
Soda.
juice. Yeah, yeah.
I
We
like
don't
both.
like fizzy stuff. Well, I mean, we'll drink fizzy stuff, but it's not a.
Waffles or pancakes? You can only have one.
A waffle. I love a waffle. Pecan waffle.
pancake.
I just love this.
I don't
Kind
know.
of waffles away, man.
Like pancake was like it was when your mom, like early in the morning, wake up, she makes pancakes.
Yeah.
My mom never made waffles.
Something about the crunchiness and the softness of a waffle that I like.
But an Eggo waffle,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty disgusting. I don't know what it's made of, but it's delicious.
It is
I like
pretty
a good
delicious,
Belgian waffle, like a thicker waffle that's crispy on the outside.
Definitely pancake.
Have y'all
over
got a
that.
pecan waffle at Waffle House?
Yes.
That's the way to. That's
Now, the
true.
waffles at Waffle House are a different level now. If you're talking Waffle House waffle,
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
I'm in for the Waffle House
That's
waffle.
good stuff.
All right. What's your bucket list sporting event?
Man, I just had one not that long ago. I went to the rugby match in England.
That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
It was kind of neat.
Oh God, man, that's a good question. I would say an actually well played Falcons football game. I don't have to be Super Bowl. I want to go to a game where the Falcons don't disappoint me.
Yeah, that's going to be.
And that has never
That
happened
might be
in
the
my
next
lifetime.
life.
Every Falcons game I've ever been to in person, they lost, and I'm so freaking sick of
Yeah,
that.
it's terrible.
Oh, just a well played Falcons game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think F1.
I heard
Yeah,
that's
but like
pretty cool.
but like the ultimate experience of
Have you
F1.
seen
Right,
F1
like-
the movie?
Yes, dude,
Good
it's
movie.
so
It's incredible.
good.
Yeah,
So
it's really,
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would probably be the Masters. I think
That's a good one
It'd
too.
be
Yeah.
neat to experience.
Yeah.
Like
would
have
be-
a couple of days. I know it's a lot of just sitting a lot,
Yeah.
but like just there's just something insanely
It's cool.
unique that you can't like no other. Like you can just go to golf tournaments, you can
Yeah,
go to
it's just
Super Bowls,
nostalgia
but there's
there, right?
nothing like that.
Yeah.
My father-in-law marshaled for the Masters a couple of years.
Oh,
Jennifer's
that's cool.
dad, yeah, it was really cool. He got
Yeah.
to be a marshal
Would
for the
you
Masters.
would you rather have $5 million cash today or $50,000 a month for life?
The second one, $50,000 a month for life.
$5 million today.
Yeah, I'll take the $5 million.
Yeah, I can invest it.
Yep. But I like this question because I think there's legit arguments for if you just go strictly from investment, but a lot of people aren't savvy enough to invest it. They would blow it. So if you're worried that you're gonna spend, if you don't have to spend,
I
if
can
you're
still invest
able-
at $50,000 a month. I'm
can.
clearly not going to spend all that.
Yeah, but I
Yes.
mean, you can.
It would just take you longer
You
to
can
make-
make $50,000 a month off of $5 million, and you have
just
both.
off the interest. Yeah.
Well, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. But,
Speaking of the idiocracy, is that what it is?
but well, the thing is though, you have to be willing to not to get it the $5 million and then at least put away invest $4 of it, if not
Yeah,
more.
yeah. You can't
So
just go and just.
Also-
for some people, it might be better to take the 50,000 guarantee, assuming that's guaranteed, never runs out, and just knowing that I'm fine with my lifestyle.
So here's a dumb question. What do? You get a big payout. Like say you win, say you pay the $1 billion unit and you win it and you take your 50%, you pay your taxes and you get like $500 million. FDIC only insures, what do you do with that kind of money?
That's why you got to go to like Swiss bank accounts because it's unlimited amount that they'll.
So you
insure
can
for.
invest that overseas.
Claim it
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
trust,
You get to-
as
get
your
to spread it
individual,
out.
and then
You have
but
to way spread it out.
Do you hire like a full-time financial
Absolute-
manager for that
yes.
stuff?
now you hire a team. You
Yeah.
need like lawyers,
Legitimately?
different
Yeah.
types of lawyers,
Yeah.
estate lawyers. You need.
Clearly, I've never been around that kind of money because I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I've just researched like if
what
you
do you do?
here's the things to do if you ever won that much.
Really?
'Cause every once in a while we buy one just for fun of it.
Who?
Yeah.
Lawyer? And like, who do you
Financial advisor, but you can't not just any lawyer. Like you would need like a
Right.
like just a regular lawyer,
An
but you
estate
also
lawyer.
need an estate lawyer. You would want like somebody who's really good with financial.
So you legit have to hire a lawyer team.
Oh yeah, I
or,
wouldn't.
or just
if
a
I won, I
support
would.
team.
The first person that I would call would be my lawyer.
And maybe have a
And I
head
would-
lawyer who knows the team to hire.
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
your lawyer and your tax guy. That'd be the first two
Okay.
people that should be on your call list.
Also, if you create
not screaming and then going and telling Billy Bob that you won the lottery.
if you create some states require you if you like sign your ticket and you turn it in, they are required to report your name.
Yeah.
Not all states are anonymous.
Yeah.
And so go and create a trust and then accept the winnings as the trust, then your name doesn't get released.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good play to start. And then
Yeah.
then people they're like scrap all your social medias. I don't know that you need to do all that. Some of it's just don't be like I'm gonna go buy. It's kind of like one of those things. Like if I win the lottery, I'm not gonna tell anybody, but there'll be some signs.
There'll be some.
I was going to start laughing at like, what signs would it be?
I'd be a Lamborghini.
Like a Lamborghini?
You'd have a boat,
Yeah, or Ferrari.
I'd
a
have
new truck.
I'd have a boat. Yeah.
Yamaha.
I actually love my truck. I would probably get it. I would go have some things done to it for fun, but it wouldn't be like crazy nut stuff. Like I wouldn't have no lights or nothing like that. I'd get some new wheels.
You have the lights that light up underneath. Like those clowns in stinking town right now.
That's so gay.
Come on, man.
I'm like,
You
come
put
on.
lights in your wheel wells.
You're
Oh,
not a
my
dude, man.
gosh. I told Elena, I was like, run from those dudes.
I tell you how you could tell is my gun collection would go through the roof. Like I would have so many weapons, and I'd need a new house safe house to house them.
And hire people to hold them and then protect them.
Dude, I would
turrets.
It would become the ultimate prepper.
Dude,
That's what he's saying.
I would have an underground bunker.
I'd give you some motion sensitive turrets on my house.
This is a good underground bunker with a gun safe. Dude, there's some really new weapons, really cool.
Oh, that wasn't the question to win a lottery. I think the question's over.
No.
Yeah, we kind of went off there.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry.
last one, then we'll get to our reflection is, have you ever had
I don't play the lottery.
Have you ever had a nickname, and what if so, what was it?
But from who? Like
In general?
in general? For whatever reason, and this is one I never could understand, but my dad always called me Leroy.
It's awesome.
That's an awesome nickname.
I have no idea why. He's just like, Lucky Leroy. That was
Yeah.
what he's. Where's Lucky Leroy? I was like, what are you talking about?
Lucky Leroy, that's awesome.
But I was like, I'm here.
That's funny. I got called the bow for whatever reason by my parents and my sisters, and then I had another one that a grandparent called me, but it's my password and everything, so I can't say.
Yeah,
it.
don't say that now.
I can't say it, but the bow. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what that meant.
Like B-O-W, Bo?
B-O.
Or
Bow.
The bow. I don't know why.
The bow.
Yeah, and
In
it
high
never
school.
stuck. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Middle school, high school, and all that was Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
or John Boy.
Yeah, John Boy. Yeah.
I'll start calling you Leroy, though. Now it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I haven't heard that since my dad died.
Yeah.
Leroy.
I got the name Hollywood in high school. Yeah. For two reasons. One,
That's fitting.
I had some like flashy like suits and things that I wear sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine
But
that.
it came from a baseball player friend because I was mainly shortstop, and I was known for like kind of flashy plays and like highlight kind of plays, and so and that was much cooler than calling me like Hoover or like the vacuum cleaner or something like that. It was but Hollywood, so kind of stuck. And then
You were wearing pit vipers, weren't you?
I don't even know what that is.
Glasses.
Or those sunglasses.
Oh yeah, I do have a lot of sunglasses. That's my thing, but I never had any of those.
You never had pit vipers?
Mostly mine are Folkleys,
You
but,
Folkleys.
different colors.
Couldn't afford real Oakleys, man.
I had one
They're
pair and
expensive.
it lasted over a year, and then I left them on an intramural field and never saw them again. And
Oof.
I stopped buying Oakleys after I lost the third pair in Lake Allatoona.
No, I
And I
like
realized that was
Oakleys.
not appropriate. to
My
keep
current
them
pair
using.
is Oakleys.
I lost my
Nice.
favorite pair and like within 5 minutes of stepping into the ocean this summer at the beach and got
Yeah, that's just why
absolutely
you
waxed
don't wear
by
your
wave.
good sunglasses
I don't.
to the ocean.
I don't normally, and I didn't even think of because I usually take 3 or 4 pair down there, and
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I had them on. I wasn't even planning to go in that day.
Yeah.
Walked in there with Addison and get absolutely waxed by a wave, and they fell off because I was trying to get her up, so I couldn't hold her up myself and grab them. And once they've come out, it's like
Get you some
for.
of my glasses have these magnetic clip-ons.
Oh
They're
my
awesome.
gosh!
They're awesome.
All right,
and they
all
don't
right,
get
pop
lost.
off.
Yeah, give him a banana. Give him a banana to munch on over here.
Ah,
Go gum a banana.
you got one of those
Get my
like
clip-on
chains that
glasses.
goes
That's right.
that like you can wear it around
they're
your
not
neck.
clip. They're magnetic. You can't even
the,
tell.
the ones that click in the middle.
Yeah.
No, they're not those. Dude, I am
got
up for some new
trifocals.
glasses, and I started looking at the Oakley glasses. They're actually pretty nice. They fit good. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get me some of them.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for sticking with us. It's just kind of our reflection question instead of haste takeaways. We did a good one last week. This one is, what's an example of a time where God stirred your soul to action, even when it didn't make sense at the time, or you didn't understand why, but you knew it was clearly the Lord kind of leading you to that decision or to that action?
Man, I'd say the foster and adoption journey, which is painful for me to say because I wish we hadn't done it. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
If I could take some stuff back, I'd take that back. But I knew the Lord stirred us to that, and He has us in that journey for a purpose, and it's for purposes beyond our comfort. But I know without a doubt that He moved us into that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably like 3 or 4 that I could name. I think probably the one that comes to mind is really just being in this building. Was the recognition that God can use an engineer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that was like an eye-opening thing for me. You know, some growing up in the cultural Bible Belt, you know, you're not taught that what your gifts if is not as you're not a preacher or you're not, you know, studying the Bible. I mean, from an educational lens, that he can't use you.
That's a marker. I'm like, that's a 10-year marker. It was 2015, 16.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's got. God, it's been a decade.
Yeah.
That you put that together.
No,
man.
it's been longer than that. No. It's been
15.
11 years. 11 years.
It was 11 years.
11 years.
2015.
Wow. Yeah,
you put together that whole.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Like and I remember where I was sitting.
God,
Jeff Maurer was doing the presentation. And whatever reason, the Lord just said, "Hey, go talk to Jeff." And so I took Elena with me. We came here, did a tour around, and at the very end, I told him what I did for a living, and he said, "I have no idea why I'm here." And he said, "Well, we need someone to stamp our drawings."
That's
and I was
nuts,
like,
man.
I can do that.
I don't think I knew all that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty crazy. I mean, the details of the story are insane. I almost can't tell it without crying a little bit, because that's when the Lord really aligned it and was just like, I've got you doing exactly what I want you to do.
That's amazing.
You just have to acknowledge it and keep your eyes open.
Yeah, that's more than just like a choice or an action. That's like, hey, here's your purpose. Here's what here's not only how I created you, but how I'm going to use that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Golly bum.
For me, I think one simple examples was the lack of an action. Almost, it was had a few churches through the years. Some right out of college, some later in life that were throwing out offers to come be like their worship pastor or their worship leader, and struggling with that, because I'm like, that's what I was made to do, and it's here's it's full time. It's getting to do it was a bigger church, if you will. So there's a lot of pressure, and a lot of them there were some that I was like, I would never go there, but there were some that these are really good churches, Bible believing, teaching, and just never really felt released from what the Lord wanted to do here, and struggled with that. Struggled to understand, like, why would you even have these sent to me? Because some of them were at times where I was looking for work.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like, why would you send me these things that are so enticing, but you don't want me to take them?
Yeah.
But I remember being very clear on them, and glad, I say glad it didn't. I am, though, because I could see why, but it was a good lesson in that, like, sometimes we're present to choices that we need to say yes, and sometimes we're presented things to be able to have the self-control and the ability to say no, that's not what he wants.
Yeah.
And testing through that is difficult, but it's good, so.
Love it. Well, guys, thanks so much for getting us to 200 episodes.
Yeah.
It's insane that we've made it to 200 episodes. Hope you enjoyed some of our goofiness, but also our desire to reflect deeply on challenging things. And so I hope that's a help to you. Share the podcast, give it a 5-star rating, leave a comment, all the fun stuff, buy some merch. That's really awesome, and we appreciate it. So hopefully we'll see you for episode 201. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. See you guys. Out.